Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. So, this video I'm doing is a red alert. I just recently watched a video by a YouTuber. Well, he got kicked off YouTube, a few years ago, and so I followed him over to Rumble, and he has a lot of people like from the medical field and stuff that are guests on his show. And I'm talking about the SGT report. For those of you that haven't heard of it or that do know him, Sean with SGT report, right? Well, I just was getting ready for work, and I listened to this video, and it was pretty disturbing. And look, it's what I've already known. It's just when you hear the doctors and scientists that are doing the research on things and are uncovering things, and they're being censored, they're being having their licenses pulled, they're being sued, all this stuff. It makes you realize that they're hitting the nail on the head, right? And what am I talking about? Well, and we've talked about this, but it's being proven now that not just the people that took the jibber jabbers and got all of the the phene of the graph kind and the particulates that are small and nano sized, right, in their bodies, the ones that when they were passing away, and you could go into the cemeteries and with a Wi-Fi locator is picking up MAC addresses in the graves from the people, right? From the corpses. Now they're finding it in everybody, even people that didn't take the jibby jabbies and all that. And look, I told you guys this. I did the video on the mark of the beast. Okay? I've told you guys, explain this, what they're building. With the 6G that'll be coming, that's the internet of bodies, the internet of everything, connected into a worldwide grid of surveillance connected to AI controlled by supercomputers. And that this would be the true Antichrist, the Antichrist consciousness that would arrive here on Earth. The new God the technocrats are building to set up over humanity, to manage our nations, to rule over the world. And that everything on Earth would be surveilled and data collected on real time, and that essentially they were going to have a like a type of a holographic simulated copy of the whole world, of every living thing on the earth, that they could use as their to anything that they mess with. The digital copy would affect the real being or living thing or whatever, right? And that they could keep total, they'll be able to know exactly how many resources on Earth, where they're located. I mean, everything. This is massive, folks, what they're undertaking. But I've told you guys, that's the true mark of the beast. That Revelation was not about some, Lucifer or his son or whatever rising on Earth and to rule the nations. That it was a transhumanist. It was a prophetic visions of transhumanism taking over humanity and replacing the Christ consciousness with transhumanism, with people allowing themselves to be partially controlled by AI and robotics. And I also told you guys that we weren't going to have a choice. It wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm brought up before the synagogue of Satan, and I could take the beast or the mark of the beast or not, No. There was no choice in this ever. They were never going to allow us to have a choice if we wanted this in our bodies or not. If we wanted to be connected into this worldwide matrix within a matrix or not. They're finding people that have been against all that and that have been trying to keep their bodies clean of it. They're still finding, they have ways now, they have these like little wands now that can pick up the signals coming out of the body. And then when they go look at the blood, they're finding these microscopic things that can self-replicate and that are building antennas. They're being directed, programmed to build these systems that will send out, that will give the body a direct connection to Wi-Fi. I've told you guys this was coming, and it's here. They're building it. The framework is still being built for the whole system. It's not 100% yet, but this big push with, Trump buddying up with these guys, these tech lords, who are all behind this. They're all transhumanists. And all these, bragging about, this company's got open AI, $500 billion invested and all this and that. We're in a race with China, over AI. Yeah, America's in a race with China to see which country enslaves the whole world under their own version of their AI systems. That's what this is about, folks. Who gets to be the first ones to enslave the world? China or America? Okay? That's what this is all about. And this stuff's been highly censored. This stuff's been highly hidden from the public. But now, even if you didn't take all their junk, you still got it in you. Why? Well, they had to get it in everybody, folks. Look, you can't bring the system online without everybody connected to it. There is no getting out of it, folks. I hate to tell you. I mean, I'm not saying everything's hopeless. Obviously, we've got to resist and we've got to fight back and we've got to get people in positions of government and power that understand truly what's going on and that aren't going along with it like Trump is. I mean, dude, look. Trump's selling us out, folks. Every time he goes up there and he brags about, this tech company is investing this much, this one's investing this much, and we're going to back them, and we got to beat China in this race. I don't know. Maybe in his mind he figures that there's no stopping this and that he would rather have America in the driver's seat, in the control panel, so to speak, of this whole AI takeover of the human body, of the whole earth itself, than China. Because look, if China gets ahead of this, and China is the one that puts this in place, when it goes live, they've essentially conquered the world and subjugated the whole world. So, I mean, I get it on that, that side of things. And maybe that's his thinking. There's no stopping this. We got to be the ones first to it, or else all is lost. And in a way, I guess I can support that vision. But I would argue that these people pushing this stuff and these technologies, whether it's in China or America, that the full powers of military and everything should be brought to arrest these people, to end their programs, to destroy their systems. But instead, we're going to try to race to be the first ones to install the worldwide technocratic dictatorship. I mean, it's unbelievable, folks. My gosh, man. And see, and once again, the way you get the religious people that would typically be the ones to fight back on this, to sit on their asses, just like they did with the Q and the white hat bullshit, right? Don't do shit while we do all this stuff, while we subjugate all you, while we destroy small businesses and bankrupt your nation and, destroy our infrastructure and our, and our shipping and everything, and cause massive inflation and put this stuff in everybody. Just sit on your ass, enjoy the show. The white hat's got it under control. Well, they're doing the same thing with religion. Well, Jesus is going to save us all. We don't need to do nothing. I'm just going to go to church every Sunday and sit on my ass and not do a damn thing. And allow it to happen. Because Jesus is going to save us. According to Revelation, Jesus comes with a host of heaven on white horses from the clouds. And he's going to stop all this and destroy the Antichrist. People don't even understand that it's all an allegory, dude. That the Christ is the Christ consciousness. And when that Christ consciousness returns with the host of heaven, it's talking about a massive awakening of Christ consciousness being reawakened in humanity, that people become self-aware again, that they're immortal spirits on earth, that they're all powerful, and they have dominion over the quantum field and over this realm. But until that happens, there's nobody here to save us. We got to be the ones to awaken, folks, and save ourselves. And then some of you would ask, well, BS. I didn't take that. How's it in me? Well, for one, if your spouse, the man or woman, or, well, even if you're the same, couple, whatever, it don't matter. Your spouse, your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. If you're, intimate, if you're the one that didn't take that stuff, you're getting injected with it. Through body fluids, folks. It's in the blood. It's in the fluids, okay? That's how. So if you were against the jibby jabbies, but your wife was like on her knees, like bound down to Biden and their whole, disgusting, transhumanist, liberal, frickin' communist like system, that they were trying to push. Well, and she went and got all her, the boosters and all that. Guess what? Every time you've been intimate with her, you've been getting injected with this stuff, okay? It's not that hard to figure out, folks. See, they knew that they didn't have to get everybody to take it. They just had to get it into a portion. And now what do you do? Okay, so now maybe you got single guys that wouldn't take it, right? Well, how's it in them? Or single women? Well, here we go again. Well, they've been injecting this stuff now in our food supply too, because they got to get it in the animals too, folks. See, they want a way to account for everything on earth. All the plants and animals, not just the humans. And how would you do this? Well, you would put it in the food supply, you inject it in the water, you inject it in the medicines and personal hygiene products. It's all been found in all of these things, folks. And most importantly, you cover the whole world with it. From the clouds, from the skies. Yeah. You know that stuff, right? That doesn't happen, but now they admit, oh, we do geoengineer the skies, actually. We were just joking. Yeah. That's how. This stuff is so small that they can dust the whole earth with this stuff. It embeds itself in all the trees, the plants, the animals, the humans, gets in the water systems, everything. It's in the skies, folks. And now you've just blanketed the whole earth with a data net. So when this system goes live, worldwide Wi-Fi that you can't escape nowhere. You could be out in the middle of the nowhere, out in a nature preserve, and you're still going to be connected to this. Why do you think they're putting up the tens of thousands of freaking satellites and stuff? Look, this ain't going to be all ground-based systems. It's going to be space-based systems, okay? Once it goes live, they now have data connection points on every living thing on Earth. I just want all this to sink in for a minute, folks. Look, I'm not trying to scare you to death and make you put your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 I hear no evil, you know. Look, this is what we're facing, folks. You've been called upon to act, to wake up, okay? Look, if you don't, it's game over, man. And I've been telling you guys, and you'll say, well, who's behind all this? Truly, it can't just be these, CEOs of tech companies and stuff. No, I've been telling you guys forever. The Watchers, the Anuna, the Anunnaki, they never left. They've always been here. They manage the world through their human, puppets or their human bloodlines, whatever you want to call it. They manage the world through them. Now, are they up in ships? Are they in a different dimension? Are they hiding out in Antarctica or under the ocean or in mountaintops? I don't know, folks. I don't know where they're at exactly, obviously. But it's quite obvious that there are advanced beings managing this realm from the shadows, and that the people carrying this stuff out are just order takers. Okay? And then you would ask, well, why would they do this? This has never happened before. Well, I would argue with you that yes, this has been highly documented in our religious texts, in our ancient scripts and tablets, that this has happened before. That these beings manage us and manage the levels of humanity, and they bring pestilences and diseases and plagues and all kinds of things on humanity to manage us. Since the beginning. I've told you guys many times, go read the Atra Hasis. It lays this out in clear, straight up language. It talks about after Enki and Ninmah were literally directed by this character Enlil, who is Yahweh, okay, in the Bible. He orders them to create a worker race to replace the work of their own working class people, the Agigi. And so they hybridize a human race from the hominids that were working on Earth at the time. But then Enki made these humans self-aware. And he upgraded them more than he was supposed to. And this infuriated Enlil. He wanted them simple, not knowing that the spirits within these beings are source energy, are sovereign gods, okay, immortal spirits. Enki made them aware of that. That's the whole story of the Nakash in the Bible, in Genesis, right? The snake, the serpent. It's an allegory, folks, okay? The serpent family is Enki's family, the feathered serpent family. Doesn't mean he was a damn snake. Time to wake up. Learn to read symbolism, my God. People reading the Bible literally, word for word, like just face value, and they think they're intelligent. Well, what happened after those humans started, outbreeding the Anunnaki and running wild and rebelling against them like the Agigi were doing? What did Enlil say to do? Bring the plagues and pestilences on them. Make them starve, destroy their crops, their animals. Bring diseases on them. Cut their populations down to a manageable level. This was in a tablet, folks, 2100 BC. which means it's over 4,000 years old. This was written. And then you would say, oh, that's not Yahweh. That's one of these Nephilim. Okay, well, let's go look at your buddy Yahweh. What did he do? Oh, yeah, just so you guys know, in the Atrahasis, towards the end of it, when they couldn't control humanity, Enlil called them to bring the flood to wipe out mass amounts of humanity. Yeah, remember the guy that did that in the Bible? Yahweh? Brought the flood? Remember? Same guy. It's the same guy, folks. Calling him the hero and stuff, right? Yeah, man, yeah, he's my Lord and Savior. Jesus walking in flesh was Yahweh. I mean, or Yahuwah, whatever the stupid new name. It's always some new name all the time, right? Because they figured out Jesus means Hail Zeus, so they can't call him Jesus anymore. So now it's Yahuwah, Luahua, Bua. I mean, now when you call him Yeshua, now that's a false name you're using. I mean, these people are idiots, man. I got probably some TikToker put out some video about it's Yahuwah. Now these people like lemmings that they are, they all fell for it, right? But who cares what the hell the name of these people are? But yeah, that God Yahweh, same one that brought the flood, same one that was in the Atrahasis, that same Anunnaki overlord, the god of war, the god of the air, right? Zeus in the Greek. He does the exact same thing to the Egyptians, folks. Remember the old pissing contest between Moses and the sorcerers of Egypt? Oh, they turn the staffs into snakes, and then remember, then God starts bringing all these plagues on the Egyptians, right? Turning the Nile into blood, and I mean, bringing pestilences and disease and plagues of freaking locusts and all this stuff. Oh, and then the final one, the Passover one, where all the innocent baby Egyptians, right, that you all celebrate as, during Easter, right, the Passover. Yeah, it's the same guy, folks, the same sadistic God. Same one that destroyed whole cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. The god of war, the one that was so worried about land and his people invading and conquering everybody and stealing their land and taking their wives as concubines and trading women like they're just, like just cattle. Enslaving their children and then putting the men and the animals to the sword or sacrifice. Yeah, same dude. The good God. That's the creator of all you're talking about, son. You're going to go to hell for that blasphemy. Yeah. Well, my concept of the creator of all, folks, is not this blood libel God that you guys all worship in this book written by men, okay? But we see an underlying connection here. That these Elohim, these Anuna, not all of them, just like humans, there's good and bad factions, obviously. But the ones that have the power within the Anuna, they are willing to wipe out mass amounts of humanity. Well, what's going on now? Now that we're up to, 8 billion people on Earth or more? Who knows what it is now? Now it's time to cull. You guys would call, that's the great harvest in the Bible. The Lord's going to get rid of the tares of the field and keep the sheep. I mean, the wheat. I mean, the easily manipulated ones. The good little ones that punch their tickets into heaven, that go sit in a church pew every Sunday, that do the Lord's work. Those ones. The ones that just sit on their asses when all this is going on, right? They don't do a damn thing, right? Because nothing to worry about. Jesus has it all under control. The ones that fall for fairy tales and misdirection and manipulation. So that's where we're at, folks. Who knows what this is going to look like in the next 10 years. But it's happened multiple times in the past. Who knows what happened to Atlantis and other previous civilizations, right? I mean, the Sumerian kings list goes back over 200,000 years of rulership of Earth, right? Kingship of Earth that was lowered from heaven. pre-flood and after flood. So it's obvious that the earth has probably been through multiple cataclysms and multiple destructions of humanity. And it seems to be that these beings that everybody worships as gods have always been the ones behind it all. And every time humanity starts to wake up and starts to push back and starts to question, it's time to bring the hammer down. And we are facing the next major attempt at this, okay? And they've been successful. I mean, you all applaud the biblical flood and all that, right? Oh, only Noah's family were the only pure ones left on earth, the only good people left. Time to start repopulating the earth with incest again. I mean, what a joke, dude. Everybody came from Adam and Eve. I mean, people are such clowns, man. Like, they don't even have the imagination to understand. Like, look, even in the cuneiform, it wasn't just Adam and Eve, or Adapa and Tiamat were they were prototypes, but they continued to make more human pairs and stuff, right? Even the Anunnaki, the Elohim, were smart enough to understand you need you know, you have to have a mixture of different DNAs and stuff, or you'll have lots of genetic disorders and stuff. I mean, they understood this, right? It's not like they were just like, and look, folks, there were a lot of hominids on the earth. I mean, look, we the Denisovans, the Cro-Magnons, the Neanderthals, I mean, on and on and on. I mean, they've documented like almost probably over 100 different types of humanoids on the earth. So I mean, there were giant humans, there were pygmy humans, of races of like little short, like 2.5 foot humans. I mean, there's all that was like down Southeast Asia. They found those. I mean, look, Earth is not what we think it is, folks. It's a genetic, like it's like the whole Earth is like a genetic bank, okay? And it's been manipulated. There is no evolution as far as Darwin evolution goes. There's genetic tinkering is what happens, okay? And Earth is always being tinkered with. Well, humans now are upsetting the garden like we always do, right? And they're ready to cut us down to a manageable number. And if they merge humanity with transhumanism, with robotics and AI, they don't need as many humans to do the labor anymore. They can cut down dramatically on how many humans they need on Earth to manage the Earth. That's what's coming, folks. Look, go listen to Yuval Harari and these people talk. They all talk about this. Sam Altman, all these people. I mean, they all talk about it in different ways. They describe it in different ways, but it's essentially the same story and explanation. But they're not the ones who are really behind pulling the strings, folks. They're just the order takers, okay? They're just the figureheads, the front men. Wow. I mean, I bring this to you guys with a heavy heart, man. And that's why I needed to tie in because people can't believe this stuff, but yet it's in your Bible and stuff. It's in the cuneiform, folks. It's in the Egyptian writings. Like, look, these things have happened. It's in the Vedic text. Okay, the war between the gods and stuff, and bringing the pestilences and the stuff against humanity. I don't know if we need to do a part 2 of this, folks, because I really got to get going and here into work, and I feel like I hate to leave it here on such a cliffhanger. But I mean, I could go on for hours on this, and I tried to sum this up as quick as I could today. Go look it up yourself, folks. I can't remember the exact name of the video, but if you go look up SGT report, I watched it dropped about a week ago, I think, the video. And I did drop a video like originally when the video first dropped, but I deleted that video because I was pretty worked up, and I decided to redo my talk on the subject, but with a clearer head and with my emotions under control more, because I got pretty worked up in that video when I first watched that. And look, I knew this was coming, folks. I mean, I understood, but it's just when you see them doing the actual like research and study and showing the proof, showing these things in people's blood, in people that didn't get the jibber jabbers and everything. It's eye opening, and it hits you hard. Okay, I'd say out of everything right now, folks, just understand you are an immortal spirit. You are. They can do whatever to the body, but they can't touch the fractal of God, which is your spirit. Okay, that pure consciousness from the higher dimensions that is immersed in this world through the human body. They can't harm that spirit. They can't. They use that spirit while it's here. They harness the power of that spirit and the energy of that spirit, but they ultimately can't control the spirit, which does lead some credence to the whole soul trap thing, that perhaps the way they get around this is that they trick spirits to come back into this realm, and that's how they farm us essentially, right? They, like cattle, right, corral us back in, and keep funneling us back here over and over. So and I just did a, it was a 5-6 part series on that, is Earth a Soul Trap. Go check that out. So anyways, folks, I gotta go, but sorry to drop this one on you guys, but look, everybody needs to know this stuff. I mean, it's despicable. Okay, and it's just coming at us like a freight train. Is there a way we can jump off the tracks in time? I mean, we're essentially tied down because, let's admit it, everybody's working against us. I mean, everything. Okay, so anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.